some of the current that goes through the emitter will exit through the base when the transistor is turned on.
Turned on, huh?
Yeah, after talk dirty. The collector is also rather heavily doped. Moderately, it's less than the emitter, but much more than the base.
That's like last Saturday night.
It is physically the largest size out of all three sections.
That's what they all say.
And just about all of the current that goes through the emitter will leave through the collector. So for most of our calculations that we do in here, you can basically say that the emitter current, the IE, is equal to the collector.
Where'd he go? He disappeared.
Usually if this is like 10 milliamps, the current coming out the base will be less than 1 milliamp, so you can kind of ignore that for most of your calculations for general purpose. If you become an engineer, an electrical engineer, you have to calculate all this crap down to the umpteenth degree, but for a tech or an introductory level, those calculations are close enough. So pretty much everything that goes through the emitter leaves the collector, a tiny little bit goes out the base. That should be reviewed.
Good to know.
Again, when we were talking about transistors as switches, we said that there were some biasing conditions that had to be met in order to make that current flow from the emitter to the collector.
Pigeon, get out of the way.
The first biasing condition was that the base emitter junction had to be forward biased.
What the fuck, Pigeon?
So if you had an NPN like this one here, you had to have a positive on the base and a more negative voltage on the end. It doesn't have to be a negative voltage, it just has to be a more negative. So these are all relative voltages. In other words, this has to be more positive than this. There have to be more holes here than here, more electrons here than here.
I'd have more holes.
As far as that balance or that
it gives me a selection.
The other biasing condition that has to be met is that the base collector junction has to be reverse biased.
Oh my god, base collector.
In this case, what that means is that this collector has to be the highest or the most positive voltage. Because this is already
look at that faggot up there with
so
the purple hair.
Look at
that faggot up there with the purple hair.
Even more positive than that.
Fucking pigeons. What are you gonna do? Yeah, what a Fowler.
Questions about any of that?
I touch your beard.
This test, it'll be a one.